it's hard work. It's not a perfect. Looks brilliant. I have to figure out how to move. Okay. I'm supposed to do something. Ah. Okay. I don't know how gorgeous this looks.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning with the house. I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Man, the water.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
I'm trying to make them move faster, but
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints. The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Okay, now what? should go on the left side.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
And the detail. A lot of objects in this. There are a couple of old cycles, a small child pool, boxes. Can't get in there. I just want to see what's under this. Not anything. Let's go up the stairs.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
So the brother's dead. Or believed to be dead. There are dirty plates everywhere. There's a recipe for apple pie. Canned fish. And stuff in the kitchen.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Flavors of India.
Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
See.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Hell.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Can I play something on the TV maybe? Sit here. No. It's not. Nice.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit. Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Sleepy music. Actually sweet, but just hoping that something's not going to jump over. Some box with some.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive. A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
I'm supposed to not open this. Get in here. No. Guess I need to go upstairs then.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
The number of books. It's ridiculous. Can I open this stuff? Can I open this?
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin. The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
So we are reconstructing a story.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
There's more.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Shh. Right here. It's in those rooms.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
Okay. Lift.
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, Go to sleep.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah, this little girl is hungry and there's no way she can go.
I kept eating and eating.
Ugh, toothpaste, no. Ugh. Okay, it's not a bad good idea.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Not sure what's good. Okay, try what works for you.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
What? Supposed to go back to the house or something? I'm not sure. Oh, okay, there's the bird. Can I jump across? Oh, okay, this is it.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
What is it?
I jumped and I almost got her.
Where's the bird? Where are you, birdie? Ah, there it is.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
This kid has got an imagination. Where's the bird? Where is the bird? No. I can hear it, I can't see it. Ah, okay. I have to jump for it then. I think I'm gonna die. Jump. Go, jump. Okay. That works too.
I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Grass? Llamas, rats.
Rabbits.
Right, let's go get one. Slow down, slow down. Why don't you go down? Ah, okay. Died. This is interesting.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Like what?
A mama rabbit.
Those are a little weird.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Okay, this game is weird. Oh,
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals.
where did it go?
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Where did it go?
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
What is this?
I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Belly with a rusty razor, his belly with a rusty razor, his belly with a rusty razor. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor?
Passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer.
Somebody's house. What do I do now?
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Then was anything hurt?
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down. I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did.
Get off the swing. Gonna stop swinging now. Do something else. Dude. Oh. Okay.
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Nice.
Stop! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Okay. So there's two of her.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Wow.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
You weren't there, didn't I? Nope.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
So now where do I go? See this. Field. Go. This one. seen this one. Never seen this one. Down here. What am I missing? Game. Chinese food. Garage. I'm just walking around inside the house. See if there's something. Come on, get me in. One moment. It's not that shit. Must be one of these. No. There are no clues either. Maybe open this already. Is there anything I can open? No. Jump off from here. I'm just going to go out the building. So, kitchen. Garage.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Come on, go out, go out. Very dark. Can't go out of this thing. Are you saying you can't get out of it? What do I do then? What do I do? The door. Come on. Come on. Just on the verge of closing this. Just now. Checked out all the doors. And of course I can't open this. I'm always locked it. Go there. This. And I don't know where to go anymore in this game of my life. Am I trapped inside this house? Not letting me get out of here? That's what it seems like. You have to let me out of this. Come on. Do something, man. Just using the mouse and it's getting too frustrating. Stuck in a haunted house. Don't know where to go. Don't know if I'm supposed to wait for nightfall. The ghost will come. Yeah, it's actually getting dark. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I'm supposed to play this again. That's it. Fingerprints.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Very helpful. Thank you so much. The door for me. Right. Right. Bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. Is that a clue or something? I'm supposed to go back to that clue. This is the last. I'm going upstairs to the lobby. Find this. I'm going to save it quick. No, I'm not saying it. No, 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 no. Okay, great.